everyone. As you can see, or maybe you can't, I don't know, it's rather dark. And that's because it's kind of looking grim outside. Weather is not looking good. It actually started raining yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a weird day in and of itself. As you know, I posted the video late yesterday because I didn't get up in time. I apologize for that. I promise you I will do my best to make sure that never happens again. So, I did put out the feelers and I got a response. And the response is this. If you went to yesterday's video, if you watched it, it hasn't even really been up a full 24 hours yet, but if you've watched it, I did mention that I was thinking about making straight up Tarot Tuesdays a thing. Well, not only it got one response here on YouTube. It got responses on Twitter. It got responses on CloudHub. It got responses on SpeakerMindHere.com, and they were all in the affirmative. And that means only one thing: Tuesdays will be nothing but tarot. So straight up Tarot Tuesday is going to be a thing. Also, it seems Bub wants to play. Love that ball. Yeah, there you go. Go get it. And off he runs to go get the ball. Or go claw at the rug. I'm not sure. Anyway. It would seem that some on CloudHub were super mad. Ooh. I ticked them off. That's what it's up here. That's why that picture is sitting right here. Ooh, they are mad. I usually get one or two, you know, but wow, never responses like I got yesterday. I just posted the video as I always did, and yeah, the responses came back ugly. I'm talking hideous. After a while, I just, you know, I had my fun with them for a few minutes and I blocked them. I didn't really troll them or anything like that. I literally tried to speak with them, just as, you know, rational human beings. They showed they weren't interested in that. I'm going to say this, I can see why some of those people were banned from Twitter. Some of it, that was earned. So let's get down to it. Who is our guide for today? Skadi. So we have Skadi here, the goddess of the hunt. You know, we don't see Skadi that much. So I wonder what Skadi has to say to us today. This is one of those times I will be referring to the book. So, not even ashamed of it, just gonna do it. Certain cards you get to know very well, others not so much. This is going to be interesting. So, okay, so today we are being called to remember it is important to know yourself. It is the most important of life's work. Express your independence. Be your most authentic self. I knew there was a reason I pulled the Sacred Rebels Oracle today, and because that deck is all about authenticity. That deck is all about just you being you, and compromise is a thing. Skadi's own story does talk compromise. She married one of the gods of Asgard, and she chose him by his feet, thinking it was Balder. It was not. So she married this god, and they tried to decide where to live, and of course they would spend 9 nights over in her realm in the mountains of Jotunheim, and then 9 nights on the sandy shores of the beaches, which which was her husband's realm. She didn't like where he lived. She found the seagulls and birds to be a little unbearable. He couldn't stand where she lived because he found the cold to be unbearable. So what that means is compromise is a part of life. We do that. We compromise. I give a little ground, you give a little ground. We kind of meet in the middle. However, when compromise is pushing you to be someone you're not, it's time to make a change, right? That's the way it goes. That leads me to wonder who the spirit animal is going to be today. I'm really curious. And okay, we have a turtle spirit. I usually say this: slow and steady wins the race, right? Tortoise and the hare. And looks like Mr. Bub is going a little psycho here. I'm not sure what he's reaching under the couch for, but he's got his whole head stuck under the couch. Apparently he's found something. Hang on. What is that? Stop eating plastic, you little... Oh my goodness. My apologies. He seemed to have found a broken fortune cookie still in the wrapper. He was batting it around like a toy. You want to play? Go get your ball, bud. Alright, so I think we're being called to kind of take it nice and easy today. And just don't get too ahead of yourself. You know, it's interesting. I have a friend who plays in Second Life, and that's one of the things she tries to teach some of the people who are less experienced at a certain type of role play. Okay, yep. So what you're being called to do is trust the timing. And by trust the timing, we mean just put one foot in front of the other. Don't worry about don't worry about like knowing everything right away. Just take it nice and easy. You're going to be just fine. So, but it's definitely important to be the most authentic version of yourself today. So, let's see what the tarot has for us today. I decided to go with Raven's Prophecy. We haven't used that one in a while. I do love this deck though. Let's see what we got. We have a Nine of Swords. We have a King of Cups. That King of Cups popped up again. And we have a Six of Wands. There's a kind of an interesting mix there. So we've got air, we've got water, and we've got fire. Nine of Swords, we really don't deal with that much, do we? I don't think we've seen a Nine of Swords in a while. But it looks like we may have some questions. In fact, I know I do. I got lots and lots of questions. So, no coins today, huh? No earth signs. Definitely some fear and anxiety, and it looks to be pretty crushing. That Nine of Swords is really talking pretty loud today. I'll be honest with you, I'm going through a little bit of it myself, a little anxiety, because quite frankly, I'm going through some things at work, and those things are, they will either get me a raise, which is what I'm hoping for. Hopefully I can earn that, or they won't. And with me, failure is not an option. but I did take a pretest yesterday, and there was a whole lot I didn't know. So, and that pretest was to gauge what I knew. And I'm like, uh-oh. So anyway, I'm definitely seeing some fear and anxiety here, which, when you bring in that King of Cups, that King of Cups is that's a pretty good card to have right there. Because what's most important is that we be calm and we listen. If we're calm and we listen and we focus, well, we're not gonna be in such a bad state. And then we've got the Six of Wands there. That Six of Wands, I know I've seen it before, but that is where our victory, our achievement, our pride comes in. You can kind of see that. Looks like runway lights that are crowned. You know, perfect landing, if you will. But you look at this Nine of Swords. That is pretty crushing. That is like staring at your own mortality. So, if you're usually the bubbly type and you're trying to use it to mask that lack of confidence there, now's the time to just kind of tone it back. This is where the compromise comes into play. It's time to tone back a little bit. Just be calm, be quiet, listen. Just enjoy the silence a little bit. Those answers will come to you. And then if you've taken that advice in a calm little meditative state, you'll find your victory right away. It's going to pay off. So, will you stop eating the cable to the blinds? Sorry, he's not listening to me. Okay, so what do we need to be our most authentic selves today? We do have the Sacred Fool, Big Bold Vision, and Softly, Softly the Tender Touch. I'm telling you, these cards are gorgeous. They really are. I love these cards. So, that Big Bold Vision, that's all we could talk about sometimes, isn't it? Boy, if I could just make this work, it's gonna be good. I know I tend to talk like that about my crypto. But we're going to start out with that Sacred Fool. I bet it's telling us we might need to play around a little bit. Kind of a... Have you ever noticed when you play with things, you figure out how they work? I know I learned that way. And here it is. So, this is what makes the Sacred Fool so sacred. So the Fool is a great rebel, able to thwart convention and tell the truth without restraint. So your heart is a wonderful, powerful, sacred tool. Or a sacred fool, rather, sorry. It doesn't care for the right way to do things. It doesn't care for what the mind says is real and not real. It lives according to an inner wisdom that cannot be dictated to or controlled by anything. It loves, lives, and it is what it is. Okay, so this is what it's saying. Don't try to be appropriate. Don't try to be socially acceptable or worry about what others may think about what you're doing. Just be. If you want to wear a mad hat while doing so, fine. So it's time for you to play. It's time for you to let life happen in a completely unreserved and unscripted way. The more bizarre or possibly a little out there and outfield, unexpected, apparently sort of ridiculous, the better. You might not feel safe or appropriate at first, and that's okay. That's good, actually. It's a sign that you're kind of breaking with your own self-imposed conventions. It's time to move beyond that because a bigger life adventure is calling to you. Can I pause for just a moment because I actually do have a little something to talk about from a fellow YouTuber. I've talked about her channel before, Christina Randall. She also has a second channel called Casually Christina. And she had dreadlocks, and she talked about why she had them. And she had them for 5 years. And she had decided it's time to brush them out. I think the video was posted yesterday or possibly even the day before where she actually did just that. She had her reasons for doing it. I recommend going to her channels. Watch them. She's one of the ones that I watch because she shows you that redemption's possible. In any case, she decided to have these dreadlocks brushed out. She did. Her hair, the ends were kind of cut because it was coming down to her butt at one point, and then she had it cut and conditioned and all that good stuff, and it turned out beautiful. So I hope this gets back to Christina. When I say I watched the video, I think you did the right thing for yourself. I back your play. Sometimes giving up something that was such a part of you, that can be both traumatic, but it can also lead to something very beautiful. And she said that the dreadlocks were part of a spiritual journey she took, and that journey had come to an end. Nope, I disagree. Christina, if you're watching this, your journey is only beginning. And just remember, there's a period of adjustment for everyone, yourself and everyone around you as well. Don't worry about it. Whatever it is your heart tells you. This goes for you too, watching the video. Whatever your heart tells you, time to start following it. Understand me? Okay. Let's go on with this thing. It's that big bold vision there. Yeah, there's something bigger beyond. You're going to start taking that journey, and you need to hold to that, because that big vision of yours, it matters. It's important. And it's not to be discounted, not in any way, shape, or form. So, and I mean, while you're playing, just remember, you were not born to play some small role. You were meant to stand out. Stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. And we have the Softly Softly, the Tender Touch card, which I'll be honest, I've never seen that one come out before. But we really don't work with this deck that much. So, there is an old story that the sun and the wind were debating about who was the most powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with a coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and blew until it caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped his coat around him some more tightly to protect himself. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He began to shine, becoming brighter and brighter until the man slipped his coat off, hung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, possibly wondering what was happening with the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do by being. And you are being asked to just be. So 3 cards, and they're all kind of pointing toward the same thing. This one gave you 2 messages right here. Just be, and get ready to start the next phase of your journey. This is where the next phase of your journey is going, and that's where your being is. Starting to make sense to you? I hope so, because we're getting down to the runes now. So what secrets does Scotty have for us? Like I said, slow and steady. I'll bet that personal development comes up. I'm not looking at it yet, but that comes up. So we have Avaz, forward movement. Naturally, we have Knaz. Of course, your way is lit. Plenty of light for the way. And then Avaz. Okay, so we didn't get that personal development card. That's okay. That's fine. I was wrong. Not the first time, not going to be the last. But what we do have is and I'm going to I'm going to hop around a little bit here. We do have the death of the old. Just like Christina brushing out her dreadlocks. We do have the death of that old thing. And hold on just a moment. I need to correct Kitty here. Okay, never mind. He is stopped. I don't know what he was doing, but he was pawing at something. Anyway, Mr. Bub is just not going to let this go, is he? So anyway, I think he wants to be fed early is what it is. Anyway, some things have to die off. We have to let go of some things sometimes. Even if it's just a hairstyle. A certain way of dressing. You know, something little, could be something little, could be something big. But even that something little to all others is something very large to us. It's like cutting off a limb. We don't want to do it. But what awaits on the other side is that journey here. Signified by these two runes, Knaz and Awaz. Riding a horse by torchlight. Leaving the past behind you. Need I say more? But I do need to sum up so we can get out of here and get this video posted before I gotta leave. So that is this. You're being called to be the most authentic version of yourself. Remember, this is a process, so it's going to take a little time. Right now you may be feeling a little anxious. Don't worry about that. Just take a breath, calm down, listen. And everything that you have ever wanted is going to be on the other side of your greatest fear. All the anxiety, all that build up, and you're going to find on the other side of it, you'll be like, how was I ever afraid of that? Sometimes leaving the past behind can cause a lot of anxiety. Like I said, it could be something small to others, but it's so colossal to the rest of us. It could be colossal to you. I'm telling you here and now that that thing that you're sacrificing, whether it's small or whether it's something colossal, is going to pay off. Which points to this card here. All that you could ever want is on the other side of your fear. Just remember to learn to approach it with a little bit of learn to do it before it makes sense, if that helps. Keep that vision and just be you. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks of it, because it literally does not matter. I got some words for you here. Unless they're your parents, unless they're your employers, unless you owe them money, or unless you're fucking them, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Plain and simple. With me on that one? Okay. I'm going to get out of here. I hope this resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me for your morning tea or your cup of coffee, whatever your beverage was. Cherry Coke, I don't know. I used to have those in the morning. I love you all. You who showed up. You who needed the message. You who just showed up because this is a fun time. And it is. Just be calm. Be you. And be resolute in those things that you want. Be that light that lights the way for others. And as always, shine on.